Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, who just woke up, so his voice sounds weird and he looks kind of tired. And today, we've got the patch notes for the upcoming Mercs for Money Update 5.6 in Marvel Future Fight. That's going to be going live later tonight, early tomorrow morning. And it's going to be the last update of 2019. So let's see what we're getting. First of all, the maintenance notice. I'm not on my regular account right now. I'm on the test server because there have been some changes in the patch notes. So I want to show that to you guys. So I'm just going to read out the maintenance here. It is from the regularly scheduled. It's been like this almost every single update, every single month. 4 p.m. PST, which is 7 p.m. Eastern Time, until 10:30 p.m., which is 1:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Now this will change for those of you that don't observe Daylight Savings Time, because of Daylight Savings Time being observed in North America and parts of Europe and stuff like that. So just check that out and just do the math for yourself online, and you know, what is this time to my time zone kind of thing. Anyways, moving on to the actual patch notes. We've got 3 new characters, 4 new uniforms, yada yada yada. What was changed? I'm not going to talk about what's here because I've already talked about it. I haven't actually done like a full breakdown video on Gorilla Man specifically, but I just want to talk about what's been changed. So they actually added a buff to Gorilla Man's third skill, Roar of the Gorilla. There's now a line here that says 3% recovery of max HP, which wasn't there before. So if we hide this Netmarble window and we go over to Gorilla Man in-game and we go over to his third skill, again, this is brought to you by Netmarble and the Star Agent program, which I'm a part of. Thank you, Netmarble, for allowing me to access the APK for the game and like sort of like a test server build of the game before it goes live to show you guys. If we go to Roar of the Gorilla, it's got the increased size, the self buffs, and then it's got the invincibility with a 12-second cooldown, but there's no HP. So they did change it. They also appeared to have buffed the actual damage of the skill. It's 100% here, 100% of physical attack, but in the patch notes, I'm looking at it right now, it's 118%. So if we go back here, you can see that it is 3% recovery, so that should go up with you leveling up the skill. So that might go up to like 15% when the skill's level 6, and then that's a 118% physical attack rather than just 100%. So they seem to have buffed Gorilla Man a little bit. You know what? It seems like they buffed most of his skills, because if we go over here, we can see that this skill is 90% physical attack and this skill is 80. But if we go to the patch notes, it's 94 here and it's 106. So I think they might have buffed every single one of Gorilla Man's skills. They really want him to be a little bit stronger, hit a little bit harder. This is 125% and this is 105% of physical damage. If we go over here, it's now bumped up to 147 instead of 125 and 124 instead of 105. So they buffed all of the damage, or they buffed the damage on all of his skills and added a heal. So that should be pretty interesting to see how much harder Gorilla Man hits. They didn't buff Slapstick, and they didn't buff Negasonic Teenage Warhead, so we'll just scroll through those. The 4 new uniforms, so this is pretty interesting. They did buff, they added 2 buffs. They added a buff to Apocalypse. They gave him a 35% chance to penetrate mind immunity effect, which I think is pretty useless, but it's there. It's something, it's better than nothing. And then they gave Domino a 35% increase to all attack. That is a very substantial buff, especially for a speed type character with low attack stat. So that's a pretty big deal. So if we go over to Apocalypse and we go over to his uniforms effect, you can see here he only has the ignore defense and the enhances celestial armor, but now he also has the, well, in the patch notes, like I showed you, he has the mind immunity. And then for Domino, you can see here she's got 18,000 physical attack on this test server, plus 35% would be huge. It's an extra leadership basically. You can see here she only has the increased chance to 30% chance to increase crit damage by 100%, plus the chain hit damage. So I think now with this other buff, this 35% all attack buff, Domino with the CTP of energy is going to hit super hard. She's going to have, you know, up to 45% chain hit damage. That's going to be pretty dope. So I'm excited to test that out. Also, which is really cool, they've preemptively reduced or discounted the uniforms by 50% for the Black Friday celebration. So this not only confirms that we're going to get a Black Friday sale, because some people are nervous and they think it's not happening this year, but we're also getting these early. which is cool. So yeah, there's going to be a separate announcement in the future about the Black Friday sales, which should be happening any minute now because Black Friday is this Friday. It's in 3 days. But yeah, we get these early at a discount, at a 50% discount. In my opinion, the only must buy at the moment is Cable. If you're going to tier 3 him, Apocalypse is probably a must buy as well. We'll have to find out about her, and we'll have to find out about her, but we'll see. So with that being said, let's move on and check out the rest of the patch notes. We've got all of these characters obtaining their potential. We talked about these characters down here. This is a frustrating trend for Netmarble, for the Marvel Future Fight devs, to give characters like Bullseye, Carnage, Green Goblin their potential without reworking these characters. These characters are all garbage tier characters. Punisher is the only decent character, and even then he's not that great. So I wouldn't rush to get any of these characters to level 70. It's going to give them a small bump in damage, but it's really not going to save them. It's not going to, this is not considered a rework. These characters all need top to bottom reworks. Yeah, I think Marvel Future Fight should really rework these characters when they give them their potential. They also, Apocalypse is getting level 70. We already know that. They also buffed Apocalypse's tier 3 skill. So this is an interesting one here. They gave his tier 3 skill mind damage. So this one is interesting. If you go here and you go here, you can see that the skill right now is energy damage, 250% of energy attack. But if you go and you look in the patch notes, it's mind damage 180%. So they lowered the damage, but they made it mind damage, which means you can now scale it with either a mind damage obelisk or a CTP of Judgment, which is the new CTP that's coming out, which we'll talk about in a second. So yeah, I don't really know how I feel about that. We'll have to see. We don't know how many hits the skill has, if they've changed the number of hits on the skill. So maybe they increase the number of hits to compensate, but going down from 250 to 180 is a pretty big drop. So we'll have to see. The mind damage is nice, but none of his other skills deal mind damage. So yeah, if you don't have a CTP and you're going for an obelisk, it's better now, I guess, because you can go for like a mind damage crit damage or a mind damage crit rate damage proc for Apocalypse. But yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. It also means that he will benefit from mind damage resistance down or all resist down type effects. So that could have some synergy with things like Namor's tier 3 skill. So yeah, well, I mean, we'll have to see. It's a bit odd. It's a bit odd for them to make this change last minute and not give Apocalypse any of Apocalypse's other skills mind damage. I mean, I didn't look. Well, you actually can't see his skills here. So yeah, we'll have to see in game if any of his other skills deal mind damage. And then the rest of it, is pretty much what you'd expect. You got Negasonic Teenage Warhead in the Danger Room for 4,500 crystals. Excuse me. Same as Rachel Summers. We already know about that. It says that the pack is only available until yesterday, so you're going to have to time travel if you want to get Negasonic Teenage Warhead, which is pretty cool. No, I think this is obviously a typo. I don't know what they mean. Maybe they mean 12/25, i.e. Christmas. So yeah, nice Scrooge McDuck sort of Grinch idea here, Marvel Future Fight. Get rid of Negasonic Teenage Warhead sale on Christmas. No, I don't know when it's going to expire, but it shouldn't expire yesterday because that makes absolutely no sense. And the rewards for the special training are the same as they would be for Rachel Summers. However, as far as the patch notes are concerned, we still don't have an increase for Phoenix Feathers, Mcron Shards, and Mcron Crystals, aka X-Men materials. So what's the point? Marvel Future Fight, raise the cap on X-Men materials. Raise it to 4,000. Raise it to 5,000. You know what's crazy idea here? Get rid of it. Get rid of it because people who want to rush to get mutants will still pay for those packs. I don't think you're making that much money on those packs, Netmarble and Marvel Future Fight. Anyways, we've got New World Boss Ultimate. We know about this. Apocalypse and Cable are getting their levels. But you know what? No one's going to be playing the Apocalypse World Boss Ultimate and the Cable World Boss Ultimate that the devs work so hard on. No one's going to be experiencing these cool animations, the cool zones, You know, no one's going to be seeing the really interesting and challenging mechanics of these boss fights because you didn't take off the cap of the X-Men material. So there's no fucking reason for us to go and get these. Come on, guys. Just raise the cap a little bit and it will make more sense. Get rid of the cap. Get rid of the cap. This PSA has been brought to you by I'm tired, I just woke up. Okay, there's the new Conqueror level, which we've talked about. This just explains how to see the Conqueror level. It's exactly what I showed you guys. The Conqueror level is separate for each world boss. The Conqueror rewards can only be claimed once. The Valor rewards will just automatically and permanently buff your existing Valor. You can see the Conqueror reward in your regular rewards for the boss mission. And then the most important part here, defeating a higher difficulty of world boss. So going to stage 20 versus stage 10, going to stage 30 instead of stage 20, going to stage 40, going to stage 50, yada, yada, yada. Or doing today's world boss will reward you with more Conquer level XP. So in my opinion, I don't know why they said or, I think you should say and. So just do both. Play your world boss of the day and play the highest possible difficulty level that you have, that you can. They added a new filter for the potential, which is nice. They divided the world boss ultimate info into Conqueror level and like your info, and then info of other players and how fast they've cleared the stage and what team they used and your rank and this kind of stuff. Just sort of straightforward stuff. They did some UI changes and some sort of quality of life changes to the dimension missions. Nothing too serious, just you're able to see the rewards for every day. So if you need to know which day has particular cards or particular Uru, you can see that in-game rather than having to access an outside resource, which is nice. They also show you what you're getting when you go to a new difficulty, but everyone should be going to difficulty 10 as soon as possible. So don't bother discovering this. Just go to difficulty 10 right away. They also have a way of finding which Uru are where, depending on, when you go to your inventory and you click, if you're running out of Uru. Just some small quality of life stuff. Quality of life stuff with the contribution reward and your contribution rank, so you can see if you're not at agent level 60 yet. And again, you should be rushing to get to agent level 60 so you can get the maximum rewards. But it also indicates that they might be raising the rewards to give you a more incentive to push your agent level even higher than 60. But anyways, it tells you how much the rewards improve by when you get to certain agent levels. They also did some quality of life stuff here. It shows you how many you can purchase, and it shows you when you click on it how much you have in your inventory. So it shows that you have 5. So I really like that quality of life change. It's really nice. You can now buy clear tickets from this page. Don't click this. Don't click this by accident. Don't make a post on the forum saying you weren't paying attention and you accidentally spent 200 crystals. Just don't accidentally. Just don't have an accidentally. Don't play this game drunk. Don't play this game when you're super sleepy. That's kind of your fault. Okay, they're gonna change the dimension mission thumbnail based on the day's theme. I like that a lot. And then they've got some other changes here. It says if you acquire, this one's kind of interesting. If you acquire a 6-star or higher reward from the support shop, it will now be announced. I don't know what's higher than a 6-star unless you're talking about a CTP. So yeah, I don't know what this means. I'm not trying to get your hopes up that there's CTPs in there, but I don't know what a 6-star or higher reward means. I don't know what or higher means. Anyways, it's gonna announce in the chat window if you get a 6-star card, if you're blessed and you get super lucky. Anyways, they've got 3 new premium cards coming out with attack speed. Just a FYI, guys, none of these premium cards are super meta. None of these premium cards are absolute must-obtains. So don't feel pressured to get these cards to keep up with the meta, to keep up with the rat race of Marvel Future Fight. These are optional cards. Yeah, they can be very good, but they all have at least one sort of weak option. Where you have to pick something like all defense or attack speed. Attack speed's not so bad, but you don't want attack speed on every single card. You don't want 30% attack speed. And then if you combine the set, if you get all 3, if you're a super, if you gamble a lot, if you get lucky a lot, if you're a whale, whatever, you get 3% attack speed. Again, not a super meta, not a super OP buff. So this is good that they're not pushing these as must buys. They're not going for your wallet aggressively. You can see the options here, but they all have a weak option like this one. Crit rate, crit damage, physical defense, energy defense, cold resist. I just don't... The only good option here is basically ignore defense, maybe attack speed. You have to choose between physical attack and energy attack. Nah. Look at this one. Right here, attack speed, max HP. Yeah, max HP is good, or attack speed, but then look at this. Look at option number 6. What the hell is this? All defense, maybe? Recovery rate? Movement speed? Nah, I'm good. I don't need that. White Fox is probably the best one, but you still have the same issue. Random option number 4. Attack speed is the best one, but all these are like Dudley. And then here, you have to choose between max HP, energy attack, and energy defense. And then here, crit rate or dodge. I'll stay with my baby Spidey and my cable card, okay? We've got 3 new CTPs, Greed, Insight, and Judgment. I'll be making a video later talking about all 3 CTPs and how they work. These are the maximum stats here if you guys are curious about it. I think there's some text cut off. Maybe not. But yeah, these are the new CTPs. I don't really have a lot to say about them. Well, I'll say this. I don't think any of them are super meta, except maybe Greed, which is a very funny name for a CTP, because it's what some people are going to say about Marvel Future Fight, that they're greedy. Yeah. Ha. The 3 new CTP can be obtained from the store, Dimension Chest, Custom Gear Chest. You're going to have to gamble your crystals. Yeah, okay. They've got a new uniform collection for the Mercs for Money. They've got a new ranking system, UI, and there's new categories, so you can see things like who was using what cards. You can see things like the fact that everyone in the game uses one of 3 ISO 8 sets and none of the other ISO 8 sets are ever used. Yeah, you can see that now. Yeah, nice. I mean, whatever. And you can see now who's using what CTP. So this is just helpful for players who don't go on YouTube, helpful for players who don't go on Reddit, who don't talk to other players. They can see at a glance what other players are using, and they can get a better idea for what's good, in most cases anyways. They changed around the store UI, so we're going to have to get used to that. People are probably going to make some mistakes, get lost in the store, not be able to escape, etc. They might also end up accidentally spending crystals and complaining about it on the forums. You can now see how many entries you have for world event. Sorry, they need to buff the rewards of this game mode. It's not really that important. No one really cares. You can search now in the Marvel Universe. You can search now in the uniform thing. Cool. There's an Agents of Atlas logo on the uniform collection. Very cool. There's now up to 300 lines of Alliance chat that will be stored for 60 days. So I guess you can go back and read your fun conversations where you begging your Alliance members to play the game modes in the game because they have garbage rewards. So yeah, you can be like, hey man, 59 days ago I asked you to play Alliance Conquest and Alliance Battle and Alliance Battle Extreme. You didn't play them. Please, can you please play them? I know the rewards haven't been changed in 2 years, or 3 years, but you know, yeah. Can you play these game modes? Sure. There's some new agent badge enhancement stuff. It doesn't really matter. And then there's a bunch of in-game fixes. None of this is too spicy. If you want to pause the video here and read this, you can. I'm not really gonna bother. Pretty much one of the only things you need to know is that if you're on iOS 8.0 or lower, you need to upgrade your iOS device because the game will no longer support iOS devices. And this is an Apple thing. They want to push all their apps to the latest version of iOS because they want all of their customers using the latest version of iOS so they can drain your battery so that you can buy a new phone faster. There you go. So those are the patch notes for the upcoming Mercs for Money update. There's 2 big question marks. 1, are they going to raise the cap on mutant materials? The answer should be yes, but it appears to be no in the patch notes. Hopefully, when we wake up on patch day and I'm live on Twitch, we will go into the game and we will see, oh my god, they changed, they buffed we can now hold unlimited X-Men materials. Wow, thank you, Marvel Future Fight. I'm going to say thank you by spending a whole bunch of money in game. Hopefully that happens and it's not just my imagination. And the second important thing that's not yet clear here is whether or not they've raised the X-Men materials cap. Raise the cap, I'm serious. Raise the X-Men materials cap. The second thing is the World Boss Striker situation. I don't want to get into it in a big thing because we're already like 20 minutes into the video. But basically on the test server, it appears that strikers only use one skill now. They don't rotate through skills randomly, they do a set skill every single time, which eliminates the RNG of the strikers for World Boss. It also makes World Boss stupidly easy for most stages because you can just mind control them indefinitely. So we'll have to investigate that. We'll see if it's just a test server thing, if it's unique to the test server, or if it's in the live version of the game. I didn't want to make a video about it. I didn't want to make a big fuss about it because we're not sure, and there's no point in getting all ruffled if it's not actually going to be on the live server. It's a very big change if indeed it is coming to the game. So just keep your eyes out for that. Or better yet, just go on Twitch at night when the update's live, and I will be live and I will be testing it. And you can see right away, and you can be there with thousands of people laughing, having fun, drinking martinis, talking to famous people, seeing fire breathers and sword swallowers and tigers and all this cool stuff. Yeah, or just a guy at his computer streaming the game. Anyways, let me know what you guys think of the patch notes. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.